Right. Okay, so Glenn's came in today. Now look at the client, look at the length of the arms of the client. In this instance, I'm going to be adding on, if I've got them with me, the correct ones for the arm extensions. Right. I don't know if
There's
these
one
ones,
there.
yeah, but these ones are for the other beds. This is one of the older beds where I don't know if these ones will fit in. Let me just see.
The arm extension.
So you would put in, yeah, it's not too bad. Put your arm over that. Okay, you see how he needs that. Okay, but these are for these other beds. These other beds are newer, so the actual parts that connect. But that will do for just now to get him comfy. Do you want it with or without, Glenn?
This is better with.
It's better with. Okay. Okay, just lift your arm there. Right. Put that in. Put your arm over. All right. So this is why we need to have the adaptations coming in, because he needs extra space. These beds are wider than most massage beds as well. You get thinner ones too, but I prefer the wider beds. Again, it accommodates your bigger clients that come in. So if he came in and he's like, my back's killing me, and is there any particular side, Glenn, that's bothering you more?
I would say the left side.
The left side, right. So visually straight away, I kind of knew that because I could see the muscle tissue here was higher than here. So I'm watching what's going on, okay? So again, you can do all your preparation, your pulsing. When you come to meeting and greeting the feet, if it's the left side, okay, sorry, deep breath, you can shuggle. And again, I'm going to start with the left side, squeeze it and really bring that round. Breathe into that. And deep breath. And squeezing the pads of the feet and just coming around again. So you can really feel that he's holding down this left side. Let it go. That's it, okay. And just opening that out, okay, getting a bit more action into those hips there. Now, I want to come straight in with some compression work. Now, the glutes, the glorious glutes. Remember I used that term yesterday? When you've got lower back pain, you want to come into these glutes and start to loosen them off. So the pulsing of the compressions is starting to work with the muscle tissue. And as I'm moving the glute muscles, I'm mobilizing the joint as well. Okay? And then I'm going to take it down into the leg. So Glenn's pretty strong, so obviously the way I'm working with Glenn would be very different if it was Rachel on the bed or Michaela, etc. Okay.
You'd be on the bed.
Right? I would then come round and do exactly the same on that leg, and you'll feel that this is softer and more mobile than this side. Okay? Then bringing your towel down and coming into your draping. So I'm getting a bit more oil because I've got a bigger space that I'm working on. Okay? So we then work with hands at the bottom of the spine. I'm in a lunging stance and repositioning. I hardly ever work in this way because I've got so many injuries that it's very uncomfortable for me to do this, but you absolutely can work in this way. If you've had a massage yourself, you'll know that a lot of therapists work in this way as well. Okay?
And also if it's for me, for example, I'm not that big, so
Yes.
to touch, to go really down there can be
Yeah.
hard sometimes. Maybe it's also a way to do that.
Yes, you would need to take the bed down as well because, like, for me it's okay because I'm a bigger person, but for you, you really need to take the bed down so you can get into the full space. Now, I'm going to show you something else that I do personally, that when you're in your own practice, it doesn't matter how you apply the oil. So this is what I do because for me, for my own body mechanics, I hate this. This doesn't belong in holistic massage therapist, but as a massage therapist, you can do this. Ayurveda therapists work like this. I'm a great fan of Ayurveda massage. I love Ayurveda massage. So Ayurveda massage is very spiritual. And again, craft it. People want to feel better in general. They're not in there giving you marks out of 10 for your holistic techniques. As long as it's good and it does a good job, it's fine. So I'll show you an alternative, but this isn't in holistic massage, but you can do it anyway as far as I'm concerned. So you get some oil, come right in at the center of the back, have the flat of the hands here, and come into the throat and the base chakra. Allow the throat hand to come, and you're on the base chakra, and then you're doing circular movements. Do you recognize this, Michaela? Yeah. And I love working in this way because you're heating up all the chakras as you're working. Okay, so we're working with small circles, and then as you come to the neck, you then want to do a big circle. This is a much easier way, and it feels nice for the client as well.
It's really nice.
Yeah, okay, so again, I'm fine with you doing this. Okay? So you can be here. Now remember, this is our area 1 that we want to work on. So area 1, you have your imaginary line, and you want to work here. So that's me. I've prepped up the back. That's like my kid-on effleurage. And now I want to come in here. Now I can feel straight away that it's holding here. You can do your dry work as well. Your dry work's exactly the same, but I never did that. So anyway, the thoracic area always feels really good as a prep because this is, again, the solar plexus area of the body. So for me, again, with the size of him, I would be using more of my forearms here and not my hands because I really want to get in and get as much of my body weight behind this and also get a good pace into this as well. Nice deep breath, Glenn, just connecting with that breath. So you recognize we did this yesterday? Yeah? Okay. For the other therapists who aren't as confident, perhaps, it's fine for you to be doing this. Now, I was showing Michaela, or was it yourself, Gina? Or was it you, Liliana? I can't remember what I was showing. No. I can't remember who it was. I got the names, but I don't know who it was. Okay.
It was me
Okay, so
yesterday.
we have this, we have the full actions, okay? And we also have the full actions of the hands. Now, for more detailed work, here's another way to do your kneading. I know it's holding there, and I know it's holding there. So instead of sweeping the full area, you can also make smaller movements to be more focused and specific on the muscle tissues in this area. It's the same technique, but it's a smaller movement. And he needs it here, right? So instead of it being the big movement, you can just make it smaller. You can also use forearms as well. So you see how I'm not stripping the full thing now? Now it's beginning to loosen because I'm focusing more on the area that needs it. As it loosens, I move more into the midsection, keeping the movement smaller. That's fine. And then up just to below the shoulders, there's no problem. And then incorporating it with the full movement. Now, as I incorporate it, I can really feel it holding here. So again, I'm in a lunging stance, reverse lunging stance. I've got my forearm effleurage, my anchor on, and now I'm steamrollering over the top of that. And I'm going to pulse it in at the hips. For a deeper experience, I twist the forearm. Okay, so you can have the forearm straight to create more depth. You twist it. Okay? Come back in with your technique again. Again, I want to just feel it out now. Yeah, it's definitely loosening off, okay? Now I'm going to come back in again, but I'm going to do a deeper steamroller movement. Watch this. I'm steamrollering. As I come to the point of tension, I'm steamrollering and I'm using the shaker at the same time. That's the shaker. Okay? See the way it's pulsing? And then twist. Now I can feel that beginning to loosen. What's this called, Gada?
Loose fist, alternate loose fist.
Good. Okay. And we can be working all over the lower part of the hip on the bone. So it's fine to work on the bone and also onto glutes. Now again, the size of my client, and I'm now at 2 in the day. I've maybe done about 4 hours massage and I'm getting a little bit tired, right? So we can swap our tool, and what I can be using here is forearm. Okay, and that's easier for me if I've got a big day on, and also I'm working with a bigger client. And then you take it up and you can forearm down.
Would you call it forearm stripping?
Yes, you can. You can call it forearm stripping. You can call it forearm effleurage. For a deeper experience, slow it down and press in. So that's how you create a deeper movement. Remember, if you want to push further into the muscle, remember this: deep and slow, okay? So we have the glutes, the what? What's it called? That's it. So all these little rhymes that I'm giving you, you'll remember them, okay, when you're working with them. That's beginning to loosen now. So again, time frames. How much time have I spent here, do you think? About 3 minutes, 5 minutes?
5.
And again, I'm in a lunging stance. It's coming from my hip. I'm pressing into it. I'm not doing this, okay? And now I'm going to car crash it. I'm not coming into the full thoracic area. I'm specifically working on the glutes. Nice. So it's just a forearm effleurage, okay? You can come back, you can do some stroking. You saw this one as well, okay? Taking it right down at the neck, effleuraging around, and then taking it back. Good. So that's beginning to feel better. You feel the difference, Glenn?
I'm slipping into dreamland.
So all I'm doing is using my forearms to effleurage. Nice. Okay, so I'm transitioning now to the other side. What's this called, Michaela?
Ringing.
Yes? What's this called, Gina?
Striking. No.
It is a bit of a
Yeah.
stroking action, yeah. It's alternate
Oh
effleurage.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's this one, Liliana?
Is that kneading? No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Wrinkling, is it?
This, yes,
Kneading?
this one's kneading. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
And kneading and ringing belong to what family? Uwe. Anybody?
The pressure.
Petrissage.
Introductory press dressage.
Introductory petrissage.
And here I'm using a combination of ringing and kneading and alternate effleurage to prepare and introduce myself to this area. So those are three different techniques that I'm using to prepare the area. So that's how you sequence. That's what a sequence is, okay?
But the kneading of the lats, the fish doesn't close its mouth, right? It's flat hand.
Yes, well, he's a bigger person, so it will feel different because we're working with different structures. But yes, and yeah, we're moving back and forth, back and forth. So you're passing between each other.
But we used to hold the skin between these two, right?
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be more specific, you can. For the bigger movements, you want to use more of that area there, okay, to get more into it. Now, to go in deeper, what have I got in my toolbox? I'm on this side. Rachel? No, not on this side. I just want to push in a little bit deeper.
The double fingers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I don't mind if you kind of show me, right? So it would be here, that's absolutely correct. And you just want to use double fingers there, reinforced fingers. Now, the fingers carry a bigger space. So the space there is over 4 fingers. As you're working, again, I'm not looking at the client, I'm getting more specific. I'm thinking, where is it? So I'm tracking. Yes, so it's sitting just there, just above the waist area. So to get more specific, I go into my smaller toolbox and I get out my thumb. And we slow it down, deep and slow to push further into it. Deep and slow doesn't mean that you need to add more pressure. You just need to slow it down, okay? And come back. Good. Also, for a deeper experience, right, you can also rock into it as well. You've seen some rocking. I love to rock. I'm a rocker. I use a lot of rocking and pulsing. Yeah. See, he's holding really tight here.
And you could use your loose fists for that too.
Yeah, when you come to this side, you use the loose fist. So again, here's an additional technique purely because I feel it holding here. So I'm going to use digital thumbs. When people have really tight lower back and it comes into the coccyx area, that's when they get pain when they're bending over. And when you feel this really tight, you just do like a thumb friction movement. So you're here and you're just working on either side there. And then you can take it into a bit of thumb stripping just to open that out.
This is still upper glutes, right?
Yes, this is still, well, we're slightly coming into glute max there. We're just smoothing it out and again coming back in. Good, yeah, it's beginning to feel better. Bit of stroking, bit of connection with the client. Okay, and then remember you can come in, he's not too bad here at all, with your thumb stripping up, erector spining, and then coming back down again. So as you meet the hips, you take it off. It doesn't come all the way down there, okay, it's here. Okay, if you feel it holding, like I feel it holding here, you can come in again with your reinforced fingers. Pushing, and then it's just an effleurage off over the lats. For a deeper experience, you can rock it and push at the same time. If somebody has spinal problems, herniated discs, slip discs, prolapse discs, dehydrated discs, you don't do this on the problem of the disc area. You can by all means work an inch above and below it. Okay? Nice. Okay, and now I'm coming into a nice effleurage with a bit of rocking. I can also give it a bit of, this is lomi lomi, okay, but you can use this with your holistic as well. Good. You okay? See, checking in with the client. You alright? How's it going? Okay? Side effleurage. Give it some love. We can also use a bit of transitional moves. So this is the figure of 8. You can do a full back ring. And then you can do a reinforced figure of 8. This is very relaxing, very soothing, very comforting after working with the deeper movements. And then also, you can give a bit of vibration onto the base of the spine, taking your hand off. Or you can finish figure of 8 and just taking the hand off. So that's lots of different techniques and how to sequence them. You then can come around the other side. And again, I'm remembering. Yeah, come round here, guys. Right, so, again, I know where I'm going. I know where he's holding. He's holding here and he's holding here. It's much better than when I first started. So now I'm on the other side. I'm going to car crash the muscle tissue from this side. I'm going to try and fire it up as much as I can. So it's here and it's here. What tools have I got in my toolbox? What do you think's a good idea here? After what I've done, considering I want to try and push it a bit more.
I'll use my thumbs.
Yes, you could. You could absolutely use your thumbs here to get a bit more focused with what's going on. You can even physically see the difference between each side, okay?
Elbow.
Your elbow or your forearm? Your actual elbow.
Could you do reinforced fingers from that side?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you could do your reinforced fingers. With holistic massage, stay away from elbows.
Okay.
Yeah, at the moment. When you go on to do deep tissue, by all means, you could then come in at that point and be working with your double elbow movement. You can also work with, it's called anchoring, and then a forearm release. But that belongs, again, if somebody was in for a nice holistic massage and you started doing that and they were a regular holistic massage goer, they know the difference. They do know the difference then. Yep, so I would definitely keep with this, okay, with your thumb stripping. And definitely keep with your finger movements coming over. You also as well, what's holding is the quadrus lumboreus sits like this, and that's actually where it's holding with him. So I'm going to strip into the QL area and then come back. Good. Nice deep breaths. Getting him to breathe. See how slow I'm going to really push that open. So again, for a deeper experience, slow it down. Good. Okay, and now pull it back. Give it a bit of love. Yeah, it's feeling a lot better. Okay, now I'm going to show you another technique that you can do. It's a bit more of an advanced holistic technique as well. Okay, so you want to bring your hand over right under, so you're hooking under the hip bone. The hip bone's the bony part there, right? So I've got his hip bone, I'm pulling him back. Then with the other hand you come in and you do a bit of a friction movement, okay? So that's like a deeper movement again to release the lower back. Okay, you can try that too. And again, I want to anchor in here. Deep breath, breathe. Big sigh out. Good, okay, and then bringing it back onto this side now. So this side's looser, so I can come more in with more hands on this side. He doesn't need as much stimulation because this side's in much better condition. So the lower back here is nice and loose, but it's holding more there. This is called the swan, right? A lot of the students, they do this. Don't get into doing that, you'll hurt your wrist, especially with your hands. So always think of the swan. You have pain? Okay.
Ticklish.
Ooh. To create more depth of pressure, you want to pulse. And again, it comes from the core. Rocking a little bit to break it up and release as you come into that lateral line, okay? Pull it back, give it some love. Nice, good, okay.
See the loose fist that you made before?
Sorry?
The loose fist that you made on the butt
Yeah.
before, like on the this.
Yeah.
You could do it a little higher too on this part to kind of, yes.
On here?
Yes.
No, because you're on the ribs.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is, it's not for loose fisting.
Okay.
It's more for that type of movement, moving in with this as well. Yeah, and then you can keep your thumb movements for the erector spinae there. You can use on the opposite side your hands in this way, but not with the fist, okay? these big glutes again, the glorious glutes, the hammies, the quads, you get your fist into them, okay? Even in here too. Okay, so I can again give it some compressions. You can actually check the leg lengths, okay? See what's happening. Relax, relax. Yeah, it looks good. So when you're checking the leg lengths, you want to have the big toe in your direct eye line too, where the spine goes into the head. That's how you check the leg lengths. Right? So he's fine, right? Some people, it will look like that. That's an indication that that leg would be tighter. Okay, but that's pretty good. Right, so that's a demo for the lower part of the back. I'll show you one of the shoulders. Okay, so I'm actually going to come into this shoulder because he's holding more. So I finish there and I physically walk round and I come into section 1. So I've picked a bigger movement because the muscle tissue with him is bigger. What else have I got here? Okay, if I'm standing here and I'm going to work, what other tools have I got in my toolbox? Michaela?
You can do
Yep,
the digital finger things.
yep, we can be working with circles
Or reverse.
and also, okay, pulling it back as well. Your sniffle. Yes, your will be here. Okay. So see all these goosebumps down here. So again, what does the goosebumps mean?
It's nice.
That's it, they like it. Okay. So see the way I'm using my back leg to reposition where I need to be with straight arms. Okay, it's not this. Okay, it's all again from here. There's some of the girls that came in November were so sweet. They were from France, and there was one girl. She was a dancer, really sweet, from the forest in France, and she came in. Because she was a dancer, she was very graceful, and she also was from the French culture as well. So she was very feminine and really sweet. So she was beautiful when she worked, but she was very scared to work with the body as well. So I started taking her boxing in the mornings to help her get a bit more, you know. So she used to come boxing in the mornings, and that helped her a lot with all this type of thing. Do you know what I mean? Getting a bit more confident.
I go for boxing classes.
Like boxing too.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. That's it. And then you can then take it in to your steamroller. Okay. For a more advanced movement, if your hands are getting tight again at this point in the day, you can bring it in with your forearm. No problem with that. If you've already worked rotator cuff and you come back here, you can also effleurage over rotator cuff, taking it into tricep as well. Alright, so that's your set of techniques for there. Round here. Right, who have we got? Gina, what do I do from here?
What? Sorry, which part are we working on now?
We're working on section 1.
We start with the 3 lines here, or we would work on these lines next to the scapula.
Give us, that comes next, right?
So
Go in.
digital fingers?
Not yet. You want to go in and give it some love. That comes next, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So you come in and give it a bit of
Effleurage.
alternate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Bit of alternate effleurage. And then you want to anchor in, get a hold of that arm. And remember, you want to fire that up as much as possible. It's a big movement, okay? Because most of it is actually sitting there. Down here, it's not too bad. See the way I'm giving the rotator cuff a bit of effleurage as well. If you want to get into rotator cuff, you can thumb strip into it too. And then I would bring it back just with the nature of him. And then by all means, I would then come in with your thumb and your finger movements. And then what's this called?
Knuckle.
wing. This is the chicken wing and knuckling.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now we're getting some nice red coming up here. What does the red mean?
It's
Blood.
releasing.
Yeah. We're getting new oxygenated blood coming into the area. Nice. Come back. Okay, now from this side, Liliana, what have I got going on here?
We can do my favorite kneading.
The kneading, right? You show me what you do with kneading.
Okay. Okay. Oh. Well.
Right, you're working here. You're still working on section 1.
Okay. No, so I can't do kneading here. Right? I can't. No. Because it would be this side. So I can use my arms.
Go show me what you do.
Okay, let me think. So
Okay. Take your time.
because I can't do this, which we were doing yesterday, because it's this side. So I can do both of them.
It's just, I want you to focus. This is section 1. Focus on here. What techniques have we got from that
Okay,
side?
so I will forget about arms. I will use.
Show me. That's not section 1. Right?
So okay.
So remember, we have our imaginary line here.
Okay.
That's
okay.
the section, and that's the section, and that's the section, and that's the section. So I came round here because I want to do something with this.
So then, fingers. It must be something with fingers, thumbs.
Show me.
You're doing good. Just keep it good what you did.
Yeah.
So, like here, rocking with my fingers.
No. Right, go and stand there. Go and stand there. Okay, so basically, you see this movement that you were doing there? It belongs here. Okay? So you're here at the spine. Okay, your reinforced fingers, you're coming over rotator cuff until you meet the arm, and then you're coming back again and repositioning. So you're coming in at the spine, and it's like a reinforced steamroller movement. When people have got a lot of knots, trigger points here and also on here, that feels so amazing. So see, when somebody does it to you on the course, you'll never forget it. You'll be like, I understand what that technique is now. And when you feel it really tight, keep doing it. So if it's really tight, you can probably do that about 8 times in the one position to push that open. Okay? If it's not tight, just do it once and then move on. Okay? So you do that all over that section there. Your top trap is your kneading. Okay? So you come in with your kneading then. And then you can effleurage out the top of the head. Okay? Okay, I'm not going to show you anything else at the moment. That's enough. So as you take it out the head, you then bring it back out the head. So it's a bit reversed. What techniques do we have here, Rachel, for the neck? Yes, brilliant. That's it. So it's just the reverse. So I would anchor it in, and I would be coming in here with my knuckles. And just taking that out.
Would you do like the knuckle thing on both sides, even if you have not?
No. Being a good therapist, you focus on your areas, right? What you could do is you could effleurage 6 to 8 times the full back and then go in with the
Okay.
full neck, so then that would make
Yeah.
sense. That would be a good transition,
Yeah.
okay? That's it. Now people with no hair, all you want to do is just effleurage over the top, okay? You can come back in and actually check here and see how tight he is, because if you were going to swap him over now, for 15 minutes it's like seriously in here. Okay, now you can finish with your topotment. You can finish with your feathering. When he's here, I'm going to show you some arms. Okay, so I'm just going to oil up the arms. Can we see what's going on? Just put that there. There we go. Brilliant. Right, so if you need more oil, again, go into a full side effleurage for the arms. Arms are really easy because you know the techniques by now, right? So you have your alternate effleurage. You have single-handed picking up. You can be working with your kneading. Ringing. combining the techniques to bring that part of the body into a better state of looseness. And here, this is the same as the calf muscle, right? So you want to anchor in, hold at the hand, and come in and do a bit of thumb stripping with thumb circles. You can also work with your palm tree if you wish as well, and you can also work with cross fiber friction. Me personally, I ditch that. I support the hand and I work purely with my thumb stripping and also with thumb circles as well. He's quite big too, so I can come in with a bit of a loose fist movement. Okay? As it loosens, you then bring the arm back and stretch the hand open. It's not up here, it's at the same height or it's further down. So you want to have it in there. Off the side of the bed, you can be stripping over rotator cuff. If you find it's holding, the joints in here can be quite good. You can hold that for about 10 seconds. You'll feel where it holds, okay? So you use digital thumbs again. And here you use loose fist to then steamroller back into it. Your techniques for here are kneading and ringing. Once you've done that for a deeper experience, you can then do a nice stretch there onto the tricep. Bringing the arm now above the client. And again, your techniques here. Now this is where I do use ringing. See when you've got a really decent deltoid like that, it's easier on you to get into a ringing action on this side. It's easier to ring this muscle than it is to knead it. But you see the way that I'm moving into it as well. Okay, transition. Extend the arm out, and then you're working with the thumb and a kind of picking up action to come into the deltoid area. So you can be picking up there. So I've got bicep, tricep, coming into deltoid, and then working the full arm, and then effleuraging it and bringing it down. Can the camera get this? Can somebody move the camera around to make sure that... I think that's it, yeah, that's it, okay? So you're effleuraging, and here it's like the front of the calf muscle. You come in with your thumb stripping. Again, mid to lateral section is where you're going to find it. When you come up to the top, sweep into the internal part of the muscle tissue there. We can also be working with thumb frictions here on the wrist, and then squeezing the thumb. You can also be working, I did a bit of this with Michaela earlier on as well. You can come right in there, do your acupressure work in there too. Watch for them taking a deep breath, and then flicking it out the fingers. Okay. Then you can do a full arm effleurage. Okay, relax. Relax, relax. Any dislocated shoulders, rips, tears in the pec muscle, in the deltoid, be careful of this. But this in general, people love this movement, okay?
That's divine.
Deep breath, and big sigh out. Breathe, and out you go. Good, okay, nice. And then you can finish off with your deportment. So like if he was still holding there and also there, I know that I can spend more time here with a bit of hacking. be focusing in there. Taking it up, not spending as much time, but here he's still holding deep breath for me. And big sigh out. Remember, on the out breath, you do the strike. Okay, right, there we go. So there's another demonstration. Right, that was for